episode number 6 of Thrive Talk. And I'm Willie Breed, your host. And I just want to give you a background on Thrive International once again. We're an online advertising and e-commerce crypto company. And we offer businesses and individuals the opportunity to advertise and sell their products and their services to a global Bitcoin community. And we also offer our members the opportunity of recurring profit share in the advertising revenue generated by Thrive International. Our episode today is all about mindset. And before we get into that, welcome Gerard, my co-host, once again today. And this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, mindset, the state of your mind, it's a topic that I'm very passionate about. I love cryptocurrencies. I'm excited about technology, the potential it holds. But when you talk about things that happens in your mind, in the way that the human being functions, then I need to buckle down, because you don't start me on this topic. I'm very passionate about it. It's going to be interesting. We need to hone it down to just one aspect, and that is maybe a negative or a positive mindset.
Yes.
And where does it take you?
Yes, definitely. And I want to start off with this. With this story about an eagle, and this man walked, or a farmer, he walked and he found this eagle's egg. He took it home and he left that eagle that eagle's egg with a chicken to hatch, a normal chicken just to hatch. And that eagle hatched. He was clucking around all the time with all of the other chicks, just scraping around in the ground and not realizing that he's an eagle, because that's all that he knew. He grew up as an eagle and he couldn't see that in himself. So thinking that he was this chicken all the time, and also one day when he was very old already, looking up at the sky, seeing these majestic eagles flying around, and just looking at them, wanting to be one of them, and asking the other chickens what they were. And the other chicken actually told him that they are eagles, they're the most majestic birds in the world, and we are just chickens. You're just a chicken here on the ground, not going anywhere, not being able to be an eagle ever in your life. And that was the message that he was constantly getting. And he actually died being a chicken. And it's because he just couldn't see. So even though he was born an eagle, he died still being a chicken. And that's what we want to tell you about today, is that mindset, that thing that you need to work on constantly. You have to feed your mind, not just with externals, messages coming in from other people, people telling you about negative things all the time, feeding your mind with negative things, but you yourself, you're responsible for your mindset, because at the end of the day, you need to take responsibility for your own life. And if you block out the negativity and you feed your mind with the positive, you will be that eagle. You will be that majestic bird. So that's just to start off with, just to get you in a frame of mind of what we're talking about. So yeah, Gerard, I know that you're burning to fire away.
It's a very powerful story, and a real life scenario that actually took place, which confirms that very concept. T. Harv Eker, he wrote a couple of books and also had talks on mindset, the power of your positive mindset. And after one of his talks he had, obviously the people will come to meet him and sign books, etc. One individual approached him and said, he's so inspired, he also wants to be wealthy, he's on that journey to become wealthy. It's just, currently he's going through a difficult patch because of, his mother-in-law, and things that happen at work, and you see there's this partner of his as well, yada 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 yada. Okay, so T-Half stopped him and said, "Stop. You are poor, ain't you?" And this guy was perplexed. He said, I'm going through a bit of a difficult patch currently. He said, no. You are habitually poor. And the guy was amazed. He said, how do you know? He said, you opened your mouth. That's how I know.
Yeah.
Because the things that comes out of your mouth is the conversation that is taking place in your head.
Yeah.
That conversation determines how you conduct yourself. That in turn gives you your results. So, I mean, it's easy to oversimplify all of this. It's much more complex than that. But there are certain fundamental principles that holds true for everyone, irrespective of where you're coming from, where you are born, what is your background, what is your circumstances. The bottom line for all of us is this: you are responsible for your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you are where you are right now as a direct result of all the decisions you have made up to this point. Now, there's a lot of people that wants to blame government, politics, my suburb, my parents, things around them. Now, when you do that and you open your mouth and you speak that language, it shows the narrative that's taking place in your head.
Yeah.
And then we can understand the results you're getting.
Mm.
There was an incident. my eldest son, he came back from school with a report one term, and the marks were very, very low. So obviously he was sneaking in with the report there to get it signed by his mother. And she looked at this and said, no.
Go deal that.
When you bring these kind of results home, you better go and face your dad. So he came to me, and now he's dodging and diving because it was not a very brilliant report. So I looked at this, and I looked at him, and you can see he's nervous. Now this is there's big trouble now. So I looked at this, and I said, congratulations. And he was perplexed. I said, congratulations. You have delivered 100% accurately in line with what you have put into this effort.
Yes.
So if you got 30%, that 30% is a 100% accurate reflection of your approach towards your schoolwork. So congratulations. And he stood there perplexed. He said, what now? I said, are you satisfied with this? He said, no. I said, and? What are you going to do about it? Because it's not going to change because of circumstances around you. You must get the conversation in your head sorted out.
Yeah.
So he had to go and sit and had to talk with himself and said, listen, am I satisfied with this? Am I going to carry on producing these results? Because if I keep on doing the things I'm doing, keep on living the way I'm living,
it's going to produce the same result.
It's going to produce the same results. So, and that's what T.Half Eckers told to that guy. He said, you are habitually poor because of the conversation that's going on in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Fix that and you will see different results in your life. And yeah, the reason why I said it's a difficult topic because it's easy to oversimplify this, and there are people that are really in dire circumstances. They are in desperate situations.
Yes.
The same rule applies.
Mm.
Water is wet for everybody.
Mm.
It doesn't change because one group gets preferential treatment or another group is earmarked for a harsher deal in life. Water is wet for everyone. If the wind blows, it blows over everyone.
Yes.
And the difference is this: how do you set your sails to navigate those winds?
Yeah.
Because if the wind is blowing, some guys will get wiped out because of the decisions they have made, how they deal with the situation. Other people under similar circumstances will set the sails appropriately and actually use the wind, even if it's a headwind. They can still sail up in the direction of the headwind
To reach that goal.
So, and it's all about this feedback loop, because you experience things out there, it gives you a feedback, and you adjust your worldview, the image you've got about yourself, and how you conduct yourself within the context of how you perceive
because
the world.
life is not a straight line.
Never.
It's you find yourself on that road to success success is over here, but you might be here, then you'll be there, and you're all over the show because of everything happening in your life, and the feedback that you give yourself, but also feedback from other people and the influence of other people in your life. But you need to move forward. You need to move beyond that. You need to move. I call them roadblocks. I call them roadblocks, and those roadblocks, you can't move forward until you move them out of the way. And you need to address them.
Yes.
You need to address them and feed your mind with the right stuff. Get that roadblock moved out of the way so that you can progress. And that's a big thing. You know, people tend to it's so easy to fall into a negative. It's so difficult to keep yourself positive. And the subconscious mind is so powerful. And that's what you're saying, is this is far bigger than what we can actually bring it down to easy terms. But the bottom line is, what do you feed yourself with on a continuous basis? Are you feeding yourself continuously with negative, or are you feeding yourself with positives?
Yeah, see, Zig Ziglar had a very interesting saying. He said, "No stinking thinking." and that's about that whole conversation taking place in your head, because it is poisonous.
Yes.
You poison your own life. If you sit with these negative thoughts, you keep mulling on them. Yes, maybe your circumstances are justifiable. That's not the issue. The issue is, how do you interpret those, and how do you deal with it?
Yes.
Because everybody is going to go through circumstances.
And it's like you said earlier on, being in that situation, thinking about it and thinking about the things that transpired to that specific situation, is it going to change it? What's your power over it? So take the stuff that's in the past, leave it in the past. What can you do today to change your situation today? And then you need to move forward from there.
Yes, I think one of the most powerful examples of that is the life of Viktor Frankl. He was a psychiatrist when the Second World War broke out, and he found himself on the wrong end of the political spectrum, and as a Jew he ended up in Auschwitz, in one of the concentration camps. Went through the most horrendous circumstances. No food, just thin pajamas to wear in the coldest winters, freezing to death almost. People around him dying like flies, not knowing where his family is. So they took away everything from him. He had only one thing left, and that was control over his own attitude, his own mind, how he's going to deal with it. And a lot of people didn't survive. They committed suicide and everything. And afterwards, when this whole ordeal was over, as a psychiatrist, he looked back into the situation, and he was trying to find out what was the common denominator amongst us that survived. And then when you look at the survivors, they were young people, they were old people. There were people that used to be well educated, and there were people that wasn't well educated. There were people that was healthy, and there were people that were sick. So it was a whole mix of people amongst the survivors. And the only thing that you could pick up as the common denominator amongst themselves was attitude. All of them had a hope that after all of this, I'm going to live again. I'm going to see my parents. I want to build a business. I want to do this. They had something to hope for. So they had a positive conversation taking place in their minds in spite of all of these circumstances. And that kept them going. It kept them going. It kept them going. And the reason why people start to look at alternative incomes and reach out to join companies to generate additional income and so on is because they are dissatisfied and disgruntled with their circumstances. They've got a higher expectation for the quality of life that they want to live. So they're looking at solutions. And Roger Hamilton has got this structure when he talks about the wealth spectrum, where you find yourself in this wealth spectrum. And it's going from basement level right up to the top, where your life is leaving a legacy. versus at the basement, you are so down. You're not even within the visual spectrum. You are on what they call infrared. You're outside of the spectrum even. And you're struggling to get out of that situation. And just the one problem upon another problem. And in that situation, he's got strategies. How can you recognize where you are and how to get out of that? And when you're in that basement level, he said, forget about your high and lofty aspirations. Forget about living this life of a legacy. If you're in the basement, you need to get out.
Yeah.
Period. That's it. And the reason why people find themselves in the basement most of the time is because of decisions they've made, the conversation that's going on in their head. In other words, how do they evaluate their opportunities? How do they go about conducting their life? And you need to stop that cycle. You need to address yourself. The change that needs to take place must take place inside yourself,
Within
first
yourself.
and foremost.
Yeah. You need to make that decision.
Yes.
You have to draw that line in the sand.
Exactly. Because if you might take this opportunity, you might take that opportunity, you might take another opportunity, but if you still sustain the same approach towards life, you're just going to keep on repeating the same results.
Yeah.
You're going to go around the mountain, around and around. Okay? So to get out of the basement, there are a couple of things you need to do. And first and foremost, you need to take full and 100% responsibility for your life. You are where you are as a result of the way you lived up to this point. Period. There are no arguments. Stop blaming.
Yes.
Poor people are blaming. They're blaming their circumstances. So, and that's what T.R. Ecker said. When a guy opened his mouth, he said he's in this circumstance because of this, because of that, because of that. He said, stop. You're habitually poor because of the conversation you're having with yourself. So stop that and change the conversation. Take 100% responsibility for your life. The second thing is fire the naysayers. Get out of the cesspool.
Go to those people and say to them, look, for the next 60 days, I don't want to see or hear anything from you if you're saying anything negative. I just want positive stuff in my life for the next 30 to 60 days. And if you cannot do that, I'm going to cut you out of my life completely. And that's very important. I know that it's difficult. It's easy for me to sit here and say that. But those are the steps that you need to take.
Absolutely. You need to take responsibility and you need to start to manage your circumstances. So yeah, get out of the cesspool. And then, stop thinking. I think it was Jack Canfield that had elastic that he was wearing around his wrist. And every time there was a negative thought coming up, he would shoot himself. And it is that feedback loop. So in other words, a negative thought eventually became associated with pain. And that stopped that cycle.
Yeah.
And then you need to start to build yourself with positive feedback. Start to build yourself up. Get around positive people. Start to read positive stuff. And that's why I cut out the news. I mean, I can't remember when last I watched TV.
Yeah.
Because of all the negativity that's going around there. You don't need to feed on that. So yeah, that's one thing you need to stop as well. And to summarize, I think if out of this conversation, as you said, there are much more complicated issues around this. But if you come to the realization that you are where you are as a result of the way you've lived up to now, and the way you live is as a direct result of the conversation you're having in your head. You see, we sit with people with a negative mental attitude will look at life's opportunities and they will pass it on because of the problems that they might involve.
Yeah.
People with a positive mental attitude will look at life's problems and they will cash in on it because of the opportunities they present.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
pick your side.
Absolutely. So yes, let's just summarize this. You know, it's a wide spectrum, it's a big topic, and we'll in future go into specifics in different areas of this as well. But it's extremely important to start with something positive. Go and find something that you can listen to every single morning that will start your morning in a positive way. And you'll feel better just by waking up with a smile. Instead of saying to yourself, what's lying ahead for me today? You know, just start with that positive thinking and take that positive information in. That's quite important. And I just want to mention this as well, bringing it back to Thrive International, you know, and we proud ourselves in what we've already achieved in the business as well. Because that's also a positive mindset, is helping people to achieve new goals. And a lot of that has got to do with finances. So Thrive International, you know, from the 21st of February this year until the 20th of June this year, we've paid out to our members in actual withdrawals, that's money in their pockets, over 150 Bitcoin. Now, that tells you a lot. So it's already making a difference to those lives, and it's already putting a positive mindset in those lives, because they know that this works. They know that there's something extra in their pocket every month. That's just that limit that something actually works for them. And that's what Thrive International is all about. We want to open up people's minds. We want them to understand that there's something out there that works. There's something that will change your current situation, but you need to make the decision.
Absolutely.
You need to take full responsibility for doing that. And nobody else can do that for you. So thank you, Gerard. I know that we have to like reel ourselves in, because this is an exciting topic to talk about. But thank you everybody for joining us again on this episode. You will see our email details below. And please go, comment, share, like. We want your feedback on these episodes. So thank you everybody for joining us again. Thank you, Gerard, for being here. I know it was difficult holding yourself back.
Yes, absolutely. Now, thank you very much, and no stinking thinking.
Thank you. See you next time.